Hello, welcome wherever and whenever you're tuning in. It's absolutely wonderful to have you here. I'm delighted to be sharing a bit about Sekhem healing with you today. And what we're going to do is give you a little taste of that at the end. So I'm just going to introduce a little bit about Sekhem is and how it can help you. And then we'll settle in, set an intention, and we'll do a little bit of a healing. And it doesn't matter when you're watching this or where you're watching this, you will receive the energy in that moment when you are listening or tuning in. So that's how distance healing works, and that's one of the amazing things about Sekhem and energy healing. So Sekhem is really about empowerment. For me, it's a lot about women's empowerment. I found it one of the most beneficial practices that I have been introduced to. And it is energy healing work. We become initiated into it, a bit like Reiki. Some of you may practice Reiki. Sekhem incorporates Reiki. But it just turns the power and the volume up a lot of notches, if I'm really honest. And when we're ready to do that work, when we're ready to find that power inside of ourselves, and I'm not talking about power over or being angry or bossing people around. I'm talking about that strength that comes from within when you just know who you are, and you're okay with that, and you're okay for other people to see that and to know that, and you're okay to speak your truth and just to show up as the wonderful unique being that you are. And that can take a lot of layers that we need to peel away, a lot of layers, a lot of perhaps traumas, perhaps beliefs, perhaps a lot of emotions stuck in the system, life experiences, perhaps ancestral patterns. There can be a lot of stuff stuck in the way. And Sekhem I found to be one of those incredible energies that just, when we focus our intention and we really know what we want help and support with, it can really start to clear things on an energetic level. And when we work on an energy level and we take into account our beliefs, our emotions, our physical body and how that's feeling and all of our past traumas, and when we can hold all of that and bring in energy work, that's when we can see, for me, amazing transformations, because it's a huge piece of who we are, and it's often overlooked. We don't think, oh, let's look at energy first. We think, oh, I'll do some energy stuff when everything else is kind of okay. If we sort out our energy system and bring that as much as we can into alignment while working on all the other pieces, the alignment that can bring, especially with something like Sekhem, which is really powerful. I'll explain why in a minute. The shifts we can see are quantum, and I see that in my clients all the time. We take time, we sit down, we find out what's going on, and kind of look at the full picture, and then I get them to kind of drop inside, find where things are hiding in the body, what the beliefs are, what the emotions are, what the trauma is, and we start to move it. And then we create an intention around what we want to clear, and then we bring in the healing work, the energy work, and stuff can just move. So I see huge shifts, from one session to the next, and that brings me a lot of joy, because there's nothing more rewarding than seeing, somebody shift from like, oh, I don't know if I can enforce a boundary, I'm really sort of scared to speak up, to kind of go, whew, embodied, strong, whole, solid, whole, and able to just calmly and clearly state what their needs are and what they feel is appropriate for them and not. And it can really be that kind of quick when we bring awareness in at all levels, and then do the energy work. So, if you struggle with boundaries, if you find it hard to find your voice or to speak up for yourself, we sometimes feel kind of bullied and small, or your nervous system kind of takes over and you find yourself just people pleasing and saying yes to things that you don't want to do, and you've already got a full schedule and you're saying yes to more and looking out for other people's taking responsibility for them and how they might feel, instead of saying, well, this is actually what I want, and I would really like to just have a peaceful day today. Creating those kind of boundaries that are for self-care. And some of us might find that they feel selfish at first, but they're not. We actually need to put ourselves first so that we can create healthy boundaries, so that we can have the space to be who we are, and then the courage just to let ourselves be seen as we are, for who we are. When we can start to do that, then more can come, and more can come, and more can come, and then more of who you actually are can start to come through, and you can exercise your voice and exercise your power in a beautiful way. Just radiate who you are effortlessly. And that's kind of where we all want to get to. And for me, Sekhem, is one of the most powerful ways of accessing that. It incorporates Reiki in the system, but it brings in two other kind of healing rays or healing powers. And one of those is associated with goddess Sekhmet in ancient Egypt. Yeah, so if you think about the Great Pyramid at Giza, this energy was first received by someone in the Great Pyramid at Giza, and that's the kind of power and alignment of these incredible ancient structures, bringing down energy from the cosmos, from the stars, down through this incredible portal into the earth and out again. I might all sound a bit cosmic, but it's there's this incredible journey of this energy from like higher consciousness, from way beyond what you and I can conceive of in our day to day, but we can channel that through our bodies, all the way down to our bodies, into the earth and back out again and into another being, for their growth, for their highest good. So there's something about the pyramids, about ancient Egypt, goddess Sekhmet, and this incredible power and alignment that can come through when we request it. So you simply have to just want it, and it will start to land in you. And Sekhmet was, associated as a very powerful goddess. She's the daughter of the sun god Ra. She's depicted as having the head of a lion. So that kind of says a lot about her strength and her prowess. And on one hand, she can be described as the goddess of war and destruction, and on the other hand, as the healer of all healers. And interesting for me, you could think, well, how do these two kind of go hand in hand? But the way we look at that is that, like, destruction, at a very kind of high spiritual level or energetic level, the destruction of things is to clear away what is the foundations that are all wrong, what is not helpful or healthy. So, if our lives are built on unhealthy foundations of saying yes to what we want and not really being our true selves, some element of clearing away and pushing all of this old nonsense out of the way, and the old habits and the patterns and the things that need to break down and leave our system, in order that we can show up as who we are. Yeah, so that's there's the destruction, and then there's the beautiful healing element. And once the healing comes in, there's also tremendous love and tremendous softness that brings, and this sort of safety and comfort to just drop into yourself, drop into your body, drop into who you are, and to be yourself. And the world just needs more of that. It needs more of us showing up in our power to be ourselves. So there's a lot of softness that comes with that energy too. And we also associate there's another ray of energy that comes through called Sekhem, and we associate that with the goddess Kuan Yin, and she's the goddess of mercy and compassion, and we associate her with Reiki too. There's just a lot of gentleness, a lot of tenderness, a lot of compassion and kindness, and when we can direct that towards ourselves, that's just the most important thing that we can do. So there's this kind of powerful aligning energy that's willing to help us to break down old patterns that we are willing to let go of, and clean out anything that we don't need. And there's all this love and compassion and kindness and healing and abundance to be had, underneath. Underneath it all. So, sorry, I'm just having to close some windows because it says Facebook's running slow. So that's a bit about the background of Sekhem, and of course it can be really used for whatever it is you want or need. But the way it feels as it comes through me, and especially the last couple of years, it's been extremely powerful for me, really coming through strongly, and really giving me, incredible strength to cope with some really difficult challenges in my life, but also, coming out really, really strong and empowered, and feeling like this is very important for me to share with you. So, and I know many of you struggle with kind of what we might call codependency issues, some of them I've just described, people pleasing and boundaries, and um, saying yes when we mean no, and not putting ourselves first, not speaking up for ourselves, not using our voice, not feeling comfortable to say, oh, this is who I am and this is what I do, and or turning our life in the direction that we want it to rather than the way we think it ought to be. So, if you're struggling with that, and I really, I invite you to just to perhaps bring part of that as an intention today, and see what that can clear. We'll just do a mini healing, but see how you feel. Notice how it lands, and if you think, oh, this could be something for me, I really invite you to jump in, like have a session and see what we can clear, see what we can move, and if it calls to you even more deeply, perhaps even learn it, because I teach this beautiful system. I was just teaching it the other day, and it just a woman who's already a Reiki master, and it just it blows people away. It really does, and it just invites things on a whole other level. So if you've been doing energy work for a while, and you're like, what's next? What's the new level? What's next for me? This is like divine feminine empowerment energy is the way I see it, and it's deeply healing and profoundly helpful, not just for us, but our families, society, and the planet as a whole, and the earth itself. It's an incredible earth healing tool as well. So there's just so much in there that I want to share. Anyway, I think that's enough about the background and the history and my, how I feel about it. So I invite you now just to find a comfortable spot, settle in, drop in, perhaps putting a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, and just start to become aware, perhaps of what's happening inside. Maybe closing your eyes if it feels right. Just noticing how your body is in this moment. If you need to take a couple of big exhales, or like, and any kind of movements you might need to make to just free up any stuck energy before dropping down a notch, then do. And just taking a bit of your awareness to your breath, just noticing how that comes and goes. And just noticing any sensations in the body, any activity in the mind. Any feelings, any emotions that might be present or stirring right now. If it feels safe to you, just let yourself know that some of this can move right now. There's an opportunity for perhaps a bit of a release, emotionally, stress-wise, maybe physically, just relaxing, letting go. And if your mind's busy, just noticing what it's occupied with. And just let yourself know you'll tend to that later. So I'm going to take a moment now just to think about an intention for this healing. So it might be one of the aspects that I shared before, but It could also be anything else. It's just whatever's most present for you that you'd like some support with right now. And then we're going to ask that whatever is at the root cause of this issue, this problem, that we heal at that level. So we want to find and access the root cause. You don't necessarily need to know what it is, but we're just asking the energy to go there. And we're also going to ask to have the symptoms eased at the same time. But we want movement on the real cause, wherever that may be, whether you know it or not. And then once you're clear with your intention, you can just lay back and relax. And I'll let you know when we're finished. And just so you know that physical sensations, emotions moving, kind of having visions, or feeling just really relaxed or quiet or calm, all of that's completely normal. So anything can kind of happen. So don't be kind of alarmed if you feel like, oh, my leg's gone numb, or got tingling in my hands, or I'm seeing colours. That can also be a real normal part of this journey. And feel free to let me know if any of that has arisen for you. It can be quite, interesting feedback for yourself. Okay, so relax in, and I'll let you know when we're done. gently bringing your awareness back to your breath. Let yourself take a deep inhale and exhale. Another deep in breath and exhale. And if you're going to get up right now, starting to move your fingers and your toes, arms and legs. Maybe take a little stretch. Just tuning in and just noticing how you're feeling right now. Just taking note if anything shifted, you feel in a different state than before. And if anything arose for you during the session, it might be helpful just to make a note, write it down. And then just notice how you feel over the next days. Just see if something's starting to unfold. When we keep an eye on things, we can see the changes and the transformation starting to happen around our intention. And we can support it, support the changes that are happening. And I really invite you to take good care of your body. Just follow its needs. We just did a mini healing, but that can also be really powerful. So yeah, just follow what you need. Pay attention to your dreams, how you feel in the quiet moments, how your thoughts are, what's happening inside you emotion-wise. Are there any kind of aha moments or realizations starting to happen? And yeah, just notice if there's any shift in power and energy inside of you. And of course, I'd love to hear how you got on, so please let me know in the comments how that landed for you, and and if it's piqued your interest, and if you'd like a session to touch deeper into any part of your healing and empowerment process, then obviously just let me know. And and if you feel Sekhem's part of your bigger healing journey, you want to learn it, then yeah, of course just reach out. It's always a blessing to share such an incredible energy with you. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I hope it's helped you on your journey in some way, and sending you so much love and many blessings, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.